Turning now to the regulation side. It can't be overstated how important what the FCC is considering doing is. It's probably the most momentous telecom decision industry-wide in at least the last decade. Certainly there have been other decisions, the universal service decision a few years ago that had a particular impact on this sector of the telecom industry. But the net neutrality decision, in terms of a ripple effect across the industry and effect on consumers and competitors, competition, it's really important. What it is going to do is, if the fact sheet the chairman of the FCC circulated yesterday is accurate in the order that ultimately comes out, is bring broadband within Title II, which is the common carrier regulation that the FCC has applied for years to interstate telecommunications services more generally. Now, the chairman also put into his fact sheet a series of Title II provisions from which the FCC would forbear in connection with this in arriving at what the chairman has deemed a light touch regulation. From the telco's perspective, I think actually you will probably find that a light touch regulation because you've been in this business. You're already filing these forms. You're already filing these reports. You're familiar with 214 discontinuance notices. You're familiar with backup power requirements, and I want to come back to those too in 1 second, but you're familiar with CP&I regulations. You're familiar with all of these different pieces. For others in the broadband space, though, this is a sea change. I mean, you're going to be subject to provisions of the Act that you were not subject to before in a very different way. It may still be light touch. It may not be something that, and it's not to say you can't handle it. It's not impenetrable. This is not impossible. A lot of smart people work in very different places, can help manage this stuff easily. You have regulations on the electric side that I can't even imagine that you have to comply with. There's a way to manage this stuff. But at the same time, it is a new regulatory posture for this industry in a way that did not exist yesterday, or today still, until February 26th.
I think you have larger challenges at the state and local regulatory level, although Mike's going to talk about the big challenges, as you've heard some about, with how the FCC is approaching net neutrality. And those are decisions, as you can see, just in, from the time this conference has started, the regulatory environment has changed and is going to continue to change. So what you thought of as the rules yesterday, and a lot of us working in the telecommunications industry know this very well, may not be and probably won't be the rules tomorrow. From a financing standpoint, I will just kind of wrap up with this. We want to work with you. We want to work with your other lending partners. We have resources and tools available to us that we can help package loans and financing in a way that we think would make sense for your organization. We don't want to find ways not to make you finance, not to make loans available to you. Merging a co-op with a commercial entity, not sure if we've heard a lot about there are challenges in doing that. Maybe merging is not the best option in all cases. Operating agreements between two entities who know their jobs best, that might be an option for you. Because what I'm trying to say is no matter what you come up with, we want to work with you to make sure that that entity, whatever it is, or entities, have the RUS financing available to them to help us with our mission.